How you doing, guys? Big Mac Ghazghkull here again today, back once again with another live stream for you. I've got my hairy arms out because it's too hot here today. It's way too hot for me, and I'm melting already. Apparently we've got 3 watching already. Fantastic stuff. They're just looking at a blank screen at the minute according to my YouTube feed here. Here we go. We're about to cut in now, hopefully, to the live feed. I'm going to turn my volume down just so we don't get echo, hopefully. It's taken a while to load on my computer there. I do tend to get worse internet on a Wednesday. So, started streaming 69 seconds ago. 4 watching now. We can see me. Fantastic. I can't see me. That's good. Excellent stuff. Got the Bard joining us in the chat. I am attempting to sign into the chat with OBS. I was going to be working on Ghazghkull tonight, but I've had such a long day, and I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get my Mortal Realms video up on time tomorrow. For some reason, the chat's just gone massive. Yeah, it's Tuesday. So, right. Well, I can. That's lucky. It's Tuesday. Okay. Right. So, what a day I've had today. Just a really long day at work. So, unfortunately, I'm not prepared at all for this. Yeah, I can see myself now, finally, on my screen. So, William Thompson in the chat, the Bard in the chat, and 3 watching in total. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. I'm hoping, just turn that down a little bit more. I've not got my desk down camera today because, like I said, it was just a mad rush to get ready. I had to get home, have a bath, and all sorts of stuff. It's just boiling here. I say it's boiling. It's probably not even that hot, but because I've been non-stop all day. Let's see what temperature we've got here. Saying 23 degrees. It's, you know, it's hot for the UK, but it's not boiling, but it's muggy. That's the horrible thing. It's muggy today. We're going to get some more thunderstorms this weekend, apparently. So, yeah, I won't be streaming this weekend. You'll see me run away from the lightning as it cracks off behind me like you did last Tuesday if you were watching. So, Ghazghkull. This was as far as I got with his... it looks really bad now. It looks really dark there, doesn't it? I'm going to... I'm wondering how I can... It's a little difficult. There we go. Got the sort of light looking at it there. Now it's just focusing on my face. Focus on that. Anyway, right, that's Ghazghkull's fist where it's up to. It's looking too dark in my opinion, so I'm going to start again on that. Not tonight though. What I'm probably going to paint a bit of tonight is his claws and some of the metalwork on the gun. But I've got no desk down cam, like I said, so I'll probably turn this camera pointing down at my sort of crotchal area. And then you can hope that, yeah, tropical, 23 is tropical for the UK, practically. Got messages coming through on my phone now. I'm going to mute this. Right, do not disturb. That's what we want. The Bard can't find his file. Bad times. You file for filing stuff or you file for filing stuff? Which kind of file are you after? A rough textured piece of metal or a piece of sandpaper type thing? Or is it something to organise papers? Which kind of file? Oh, my word. Right, I have been working on something else, something not talky. I'll show you that as well. Been working on the Biologist Putrefier. Biologist Putrefier. Hey, I cannot get the hang of this left and right thing here. Got Michael Margerison in the chat. The Restless Kaiser once again joining us. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, that's my Biologist Putrefier. It's not talky, but I just thought I'd show you that. I need him painted this weekend, so if I've got my washes to hand, I'm going to wash his base and do a bit of dry brush as well. Ooh, could be a JPEG, yeah. Could be a JPG. So it could be any kind of file. There's plenty of files. What other kind of files are there out there? This is exciting chat already. File, texture, metal one. There we go. So we can't find his file to file his filing things. Then he's filing. Oh, I need my cold water. Right. Ghazghkull. I did X-Files. I did just do a bit of... I'll tell you what, I'm going to tilt this down now and see what happens. Oh, look at my belly there. So let's see if that gives us a better... There we go, that gives us a better sort of view. So that's where Ghazghkull's head's up to. I washed his head in Basilicanum Grey, thinned down with water. And I also painted on the Nazdrag Yellow and Flesh Terror Red onto the wires on top there. And that's where he's up to. So he's looking quite good. I just need to pick how I want to do the teeth, really, and then that's his head almost done. I was tempted to spray the rest of his armour today. Oh, you know what's annoying though? That's my beard. I went to pull his face off, take his face off. I went to take it off, and he is a big lad. I went to take his face off, and I've got dogs barking now as well. I don't know if you can hear that. They always seem to come on when I'm talking. I think it's because I try and raise my voice a bit so you can pick me up on the mic. But yeah, the head looks ace. Thank you very much. Jamie Bates joining us in the chat. Yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, I went to take his face off, and it appears I've glued it on. I've either glued it on, or somehow the blue tack's just set solid in there. Thordalim da Kaladai. Skeleton Horde for the teeth. Yeah, I'm thinking potentially Skeleton Horde, but I don't want them to just look like bone. I've got some Skeleton Horde on these, and they look pretty cool on the bony bits on the claw. And they look pretty cool, but I think I don't know. I just want something else at the base rather than just a Skeleton Horde. So I need to pick out a colour. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna look on. Gonna do a bit of a screen share if I can. I need to set up a new scene for that. Add scene. New scene. Screen share. Whilst I've got you here, as a sort of captive, or well, you're not captive. You can wander off whenever you like. Sepia towards the top, or Sophia towards the top. I don't know who's Sophia. Sepia towards the top is, I assume, what you mean. And yeah, yeah, you do mean sepia. Face focus for the time. Sorry, so you're back on face focus now. Face focus. Right, how do I... Ball. Okay, should be able to hear me now. Fingers crossed. Oh no, the sun's coming in behind me as well. It's not the sun behind me, it's a reflection of the sun, but watch. Ba-ba. Magic. Right, I do keep myself entertained, don't I? Let's tilt that up slightly. No sound still. That's very irritating. Blue snowball should be on. There's sound. You've got sound. Cool. Sound's back. Thanks for sticking with me. So I just thought I'd pop over to the community tab while I've got you here. And I'm going to minimise this slightly or change the size of it. Oh, not that. This one. Not that. This one. Ooh, I'm shrinking. There we go. Right, so I've got rid of all my dodgy websites. So now you can't see any dodgy tabs here. Let's turn that down again. My sound's back. Fantastic. I can hear that. Right, so this 9th edition stuff, I've not been keeping up to speed with it. I know Pariah's up for pre-order this week. I'm eyeing up that Sisters of Battle miniature and the Harlequin miniature because I am a big fan of Harlequins, unlike some orc players who shall remain nameless on this channel, who used to have dreadlocks but not anymore. Yes, so these are the miniatures I was talking about, plus an Inquisitor, a new Inquisitor miniature. I'm not a massive fan of the Inquisitor, I'll be honest. It's got a weird pterodactyl sort of dragon on it, and a massive skull on the other shoulder pad. Shuriken catapult, cool. So showing she's like a bit of a rogue Inquisitor. And then there's Ephrael Stern. Ephrael, is that how we're saying it? What's the name? Oh my word. Right, it's got to be in here, hasn't it? Codex Inquisition, missions, acolytes. There we go. Ephrael Stern and Kaiganil. Ephrael Stern and Kaiganil, that's how we're saying it. So Kaiganil is the former Harlequin. It's got no mask, so I'm assuming it's no longer a Harlequin. And it's a pariah of sorts. I don't know the background behind it, but there's also, I know, some books or graphic novels that you can pre-order up next week as well. Oh, look at that. Look at the tentacles on here. They were showing these on the Warhammer live stream, the Hobby Hangout, yesterday. I got home a lot earlier yesterday and I managed to watch some of that. We've got Hobby Corner joining us in the chat. Welcome. Foible Games as well. Fantastic. And yes, that is it. We've got how many watching? Oh, I've lost the thingy now. It does tell me on here. 8 watching now. Right, so we've got 8 watching. And hopefully, not too bored. Sanity Blasting Landscape. I'm not too interested in the rules myself. It's more the models I'm excited for. I just thought I'd take you over to there. And also, remember to set up this screen sharing situation. Because I didn't want to have to do it mid-stream like I just did. Right, let's go back to the homepage of the community and wander down. They've got the podcasts they're doing at the minute from Socially Distant Podcasts. Ooh, what's that? The Rumour Engine. Let's take a look at the Rumour Engine together, shall we? The Rumour Engine. That looks very Death Guard-y, if you ask me. Although, I don't know. Because it looks like rusted sort of pipes. The sort of thing you might see on a power generator or some sort of Death Guard vehicle, monstrous vehicle. Although it could be anything Age of Sigmar related, I guess. It could be 40k related for various races. It could even be some of the artwork we've seen for the new 9th edition, some of the races. It could be something to do with what, like, potentially a race outside of the 10 or so races we currently have in the game. I don't even know how many factions are in the game. When we all see Nighthaunts, when will we see Nighthaunts, or are they all for secret side projects? Well, they're all for conversion, basically. One of the reasons I was tempted in the first place to get Mortal Realms was for conversions for Kill Team, basically. So, although there's potential, I've been speaking to you a little bit, Michael, about Warcry, and I am tempted by Warcry every now and again, but it's just one of those things. It's like, is it a game set too far for me? Because I hardly play as is the games that I collect and build armies or forces for. So I do really try to limit myself in terms of the number of games that I collect, because it'd make it even harder to remember rules the next time. I only play once every few months. Obviously, I've not played in months apart from playing with myself just behind me here, and I film that and put it on the internet so everyone can watch me play with myself. But yeah, Warcry is one of those things that tempts me now and again. Age of Sigmar, I can't, although I'm collecting the Mortal Realms magazines and stuff, and I've got the latest issue today. I've not had a chance to even take a look at it yet, but I've got the latest issue today. That video is probably not going to be out till Friday. Issue 18, probably not going to be out till Friday, simply because, like I said, this week's just been so hectic, and I think for the foreseeable future, I'm probably going to be out on the road a lot more, driving rather than just shunting around the yard, taking empty boxes to the loading bay to get loaded. So my week's going to be far less predictable. So I have to give myself a bit of a buffer where possible, and if I can get the Mortal Realms magazine on Wednesdays, give myself 2 days to set up the video for Fridays, then I will be doing that where possible. But you asked, when are we going to see Nighthaunts? There's potential that I might build and paint some Nighthaunts, but it won't be complete forces. I've not looked at the rules of the Nighthaunts or any other armies of the dead on the Warcry website yet. I know you can download the rules for free of most of the factions, most of the non-chaos factions, if not all of them actually. But yeah, so there's potential that there will be some Nighthaunts on the channel at some point in the future, because I'm by Mortal Realms. Got Marcos joining us in the chat. Welcome, Marcos. So there's some chance that you'll see some Nighthaunts in the future, because just if nothing else, to paint them in sort of a Blanchitsu style, because something I've always wanted to try, and these seem like the right kind of models for that sort of style. But also the Necrons, if I do a Necron kill team, I'll be tempted to paint them in a Blanchitsu kind of style as well. So, but I don't know when it'll be, because at the minute, Mortal Realms is going back to a weekly schedule, so I believe, weekly release schedule. So it's finding the right night to put up my video. I'm doing 3 videos a week at the minute, and I'm struggling to do that. I might have to drop one of my videos, or just keep this one as a live one and have it with varied content rather than with just Orc content. And you might eventually see some Nighthunt miniatures on the Tuesday nights, or some Stormcast miniatures even, or just any of my other thousands of miniatures that I have hidden away in various places in the house. But yeah, Nighthunts, I do want to at least paint something similar to Nighthaunts, so like the Necrons with sort of like a very flayed one look, but I can't say for sure, because I have my Orc video on a Tuesday at the minute, which I'm struggling to make at the minute. That's why 2 weeks in a row I've done a live one, and then I have my Mortal Realms video on Thursdays, and because the magazine's going back to weekly now, that's going to be, but it's probably just going to be shifted to Fridays, that video. But then on Sundays I have my Conquest video, so I don't have anywhere to fit them on the channel at the minute, the Nighthaunts. You could argue I could put them in with the Mortal Realms video, but I don't have time to paint the miniatures either. So because I'm concentrating so much on cranking out the videos, I think it's not very feasible for me to continue doing 3 videos a week unless I do one regular live stream on a Tuesday like this one and veer away from the Orcs, like I say. So there's potential for doing that. If you've just joined me, if you weren't here at the start, I'm not going to be doing an awful lot of painting on this painting stream. That's why I've got the screen share on now. I don't have a desk down cam, unfortunately. I've had a hectic day at work, so I've not been able to get everything set up properly. And yeah, I'm just exhausted at the minute. I'm back in work tomorrow, early doors again, so not super early, about 6, half 6, something like that. And then I'm running over to Merseyside, Wales, and Salford. So it's not too far, but it's a few different sites, which always makes it provide you with different challenges as a lorry driver. Warcry's a Foible Games in the chat, welcome. Warcry is a great 30-minute game with a straightforward rule set. I live it. I love it, I assume it means. Yeah, a lot of people really enjoy it. One thing that really put me off, and this is going to seem ridiculous, but the fact that they have symbols on the data sheet instead of actual, here's your attacks, here's your defense, here's your whatever the symbols stand for, whatever the symbols represent. I'm going to go back to just the face cam here because I'm not really talking about anything that's on screen. Face focus. So rather than have what the symbols represent, they just have these symbols, and that really irritates me because it's another thing that I have to remember. So that was one thing right at the start of Warcry that I was just like, I can't even be bothered trying to learn what those symbols mean, because I know they have symbols in Shadespire or Warhammer Underworlds, and you get used to what they mean, and I'm sure you will in Warcry as well, but it's just, I find it irritating that they have symbols. Now, I can only assume that's so they only have to print one lot of data cards, or do they have other text on the data cards as well, so they have to print foreign language ones anyway. So maybe it's so they have to produce fewer graphics, so they don't have to translate everything on the data card into the various languages that they print it in. But, you know, it's just one of those things that irritated me, and when I get irritated by something about a game, I'm not likely to jump into that game right away. I have to eventually come round to it. I love the fact that they released the rules for most of the factions online in Warcry, and yeah, there's lots of good things I can see about Warcry, like the fact that people say it takes 30 minutes. But when people say it takes 30 minutes, trust me, me and my mate, we could make it take 3 hours, because we're constantly checking stuff. Because I don't know why, but we always get into the habit, and we have to get out of the habit of doing it. Past few games of Kill Teams we've played, it was a while ago now. I think it might have been before Christmas or over the Christmas break or something like that. It's a long time ago. But we played a game of Kill Team, and Kill Team's supposed to be about 45 to an hour and a half max sort of game length. And me and my mate can easily make them last 2 hours, 2 hours plus. I don't know what it is about it. Sometimes we think too much about what we're going to do, and I'm trying to come up with ideas to sort of set ourselves turn time limits. Yeah, like just give us like 30 minutes each on a chess clock kind of thing, to encourage us to use our time wisely rather than just stand there thinking about, oh, should I move this guy there, should I move that guy there, should I ready this guy, should I do whatever. Yeah, you can probably tell I'm a bit tired today, hence no immediate painting. There will be a little bit of painting. I might just paint off camera while I'm talking to you. Right, let's nip over to the chat again. Let's have a look. Right, when we see Night Haunts, I've read that bit. War, yes indeed, Marcos. Marcos, I don't think there's going to be an awful lot of Ghazghkull on this stream. Like I've said, there's going to be very little painting on this stream. But, yeah, welcome anyway. It's a great game. Shame no one plays. Oh, no one plays Warcry. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, it's a bit like Kill Team, maybe. GW, like, the supporting Kill Team, or they have supported Kill Team to a certain extent. But there's been no FAQ since 2019. We're halfway through 2020 now. The last FAQ was in 2019. It seems to be sort of slowly going to the wayside, but they've got other things to press ahead with at the minute, like all the Psychic Awakening books. You can understand all the rules writers have been engaged over the past year or so in the Psychic Awakening and in the impending 9th edition release. I was looking at the Outposts post on Facebook earlier today. The Outpost in Sheffield, a gaming store. I ordered from them the other week. I was really impressed over the whole lockdown situation in the UK. How are you doing, Underdog Painting? Joined us in the chat. Welcome. Yeah, so I was really impressed with the Outpost in Sheffield because they were constantly communicating on Facebook during lockdown, whereas certain other games, third-party retailers like Element Games is the one I'm talking about now. Element Games just didn't post anything on Facebook over the course of lockdown. Whether that's because they had limited access to Facebook, I don't know. But it's not hard to just get Facebook on your phone and access it via a business account or via, access your business account via your own phone, your own personal device, or, just allocate it to one person and whatever. But Element Games barely posted anything on Facebook during lockdown, and other than they were like doing community hobby updates eventually after about 6 weeks or something of lockdown, it felt like. But they weren't posting anything, they weren't communicating anything. They were sending out a regular weekly email, but it didn't really have any information in that was useful. So I think I'm going to try and order where possible from the likes of the Outpost. Now, Element Games is really close to me. I can go and collect, but at the minute, obviously, I can't collect. So I'm potentially going to be ordering from the Outpost for the foreseeable future, and also Primal War Games on the Wirral. I'm not sure what the situation is at the minute with Primal War Games, but Andy, former YouTuber, well, he's still got his channel. It was Peninsula Painting Projects, his YouTube channel, and he's got a store on the Wirral. I'm not sure what the situation is at the minute, whether he's up and running again. I know his website was down for maintenance, but I don't know. Basically, it sold out of most of his products during the lockdown period. It could have been something like that, or it could have just been literally just maintenance. But I was saying, I was really impressed with the way Outpost communicated on Facebook, and they put a post up today about the 9th edition release box, shall we call it. It's not a starter box, but 9th edition release box, limited release. They put a post on today saying various things. You can check it out for yourself. It's the Outpost or the Outpost Sheffield potentially on Facebook. And they put a post on, and it basically gives you, without confirming information, it was giving you information about the box and about what it's looking like is going to be happening. It looks like it's going to be released in July, various things like that. So we're getting a bit closer to the time where it's going to be released now. I'm still undecided whether I'll get myself a box. I'm tempted to, because I kind of want some Necrons for a kill team. I don't know which of those, well, other than Warriors, I don't know what I'd be able to use in a kill team, but I'd probably end up just hoarding the Necrons and like maybe selling some, maybe giving some away, something like that. So at the minute, I think it's looking like I'm probably not going to get that box. I'm probably going to wait for the actual starter box. I imagine all but 6 miniatures will be in the starter box, or maybe one fewer squad on each side, so you'll get 5 Marines, you'll get 10 Necron Warriors, depending on how the sprues split up. Let's nip back to the chat, see what's going on. I couldn't get away with Sigmar, which is a shame, as content-wise, in terms of mag, it's miles better than Conquest. They learned a lot from the Conquest mistakes. Yeah, there was various mistakes in Conquest, just vagaries with, like, as I'm getting my Conquest videos up on Sunday, the tutorial missions, there's various things you see pop up, like mistakes where rules weren't included in the mag. Like, so for the Mephitic Blighthauler, I just used it in the last mission. They didn't give us the data sheet for the Mephitic Blighthauler for that mission, but because I've had the complete run now, I've got the data sheet. I used it anyway. I didn't know whether they expected us to use. I remember when I was recording the video at the time, I didn't know whether they expected us to use for tutorial mission 14, I think it was, or 13, I'm not sure, whichever one I've just put up on Sunday. Whether they wanted us to use the rules we had for the Mephitic Blighthauler, or wait for us to actually get the data sheet to use that. So yeah, it was a it was a bit hit and miss Conquest. There's still various typing errors, spelling mistakes, and just things like on the front of issue 18, I've just been looking at it there. There's a Stormhost mentioned, the Anvils of Heldenhammer, and on the front of the magazine it says Anvils of the Heldenhammer, so they've just put the in the wrong place, unless in the lore they're called both. But to me they've always been, now I don't know much about Age of Sigmar, but to me they've always been the Anvils of Heldenhammer rather than Anvils of the Heldenhammer. So they're still making mistakes, but I think in terms of the playthrough section, it's much bigger now. than it was in Conquest, than it ever was, I'd say, in Conquest. We're up to issue 18, and I feel like the playthrough section is much better now. You're getting a better idea of the rules and a better introduction to the rules than perhaps Conquest would have given you. It's going to be interesting to see whether they do a second 40k version of the magazine with the new miniatures, because all the miniatures in this new box are supposed to be push fit, so potentially these miniatures could go into a magazine like that, and that could be a way that I could end up getting those miniatures rather than getting them in the in this new edition box set. So I'll probably hold off on that box set and see if they do a similar magazine with Hatchet, and I'll just continue to buy it from the shops like I always have done with Conquest and with Mortal Realms. I like Orc live streams. I know you like Orc live streams, Marcos. There's a little bit of orkiness. I've got Ghazghkull here. There's his head. There's your orkiness for this. Come on, there we go. There's your orkiness. That's enough orkiness for one stream. The biggest orc, the bestest orc, apart from Ghazghkull. Whew. I hear you, dude. I'm struggling. 2-3 videos per issue is tough to film and edit. Yeah, definitely. If you the way Kev on the Hobby Corner, the way he does his videos, he does his painting videos, his playing videos, and his magazine review videos. So it's a lot of videos the way Kev does it. Definitely. If I was to try and do that plus 2 extra videos a week, I'd just kill myself. Not literally, but I'd feel like doing it. I'd just be like, that's enough. I can't take it anymore. But yeah, I'm not going to do that, so not to worry. The symbols are just for you to reference the fighter card to the ability card, so it's pretty straightforward. Means nothing to me, that. It's I know you're talking about Warcry. It's not that I don't know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about Warcry, but I'd have to get the rules in front of me to decide whether I like it or not. That's the thing. Yeah, I got Underdog Painting Bazzy joining us in the chat, like I mentioned earlier. I enjoyed Andy's video. Shame he's disappeared. Yeah, I think he's just been too busy with the store and with studying and stuff. I kind of half expected him to re-emerge over lockdown. He's been a bit more active in his Facebook group, Peninsula Hobby and Chill. Peninsula Hobby and Chill. So he's been more active in his Facebook group, but I kind of half expected him to reappear on YouTube. He's had another kid as well, so that's what's keeping him busy, no doubt, all the way through lockdown. Was in the expansion boxes. Check Hobby Corner's vids on the Conquest Premium stuff. These mags are full of silly errors, pretty sloppy stuff. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think everything in the magazine. I was watching Hobby Hangout live stream from Warhammer TV, and they were talking. They've spoken briefly about Conquest and about Mortal Realms over various of their almost infinite live streams now. The Hangout live streams they've been doing, and they don't produce the content for. They don't produce the content for the magazine. Someone else is producing all the content, and then it's. I think they were saying like it's approved by them, but obviously like they're just looking at it quickly, checking stuff's right. Maybe they weren't saying it's approved by them, but basically they provide the miniatures for it, and the other people provide all the content for the magazine. So Hatchet are giving you all. It's like a YouTuber reviewing a game, basically, almost. But instead of giving it you in video form, they're giving it you in magazine form. So they're breaking down basic lore elements. We've got some Orcs in issue 18, the first of a separate faction that we're getting. Does that mean in the premium subscription they'll be getting the Orc miniatures soon? I don't know. And yeah, so Hatchet are producing all the content for the magazine, and there's just errors slipping in there in terms of spelling, in terms of just printing errors sometimes. I remember there was a particular issue of Conquest with a really bad printing error, but you could just about make out the letters, but there we go. I'm off to get the kids to bed. Good night, mate. Thanks again. Love the painting vids. Fantastic. I hope I can give you a good painting vid in the not too distant future rather than just looking at my face, but like I said, I've been rushed off my feet with work and whatnot. I don't even know whether to start painting. I've not really got the energy for it. So I'm going to see if I can find something interesting to look at on the internet for you. Let's have a look at this again. Warhammer community. I know you can't see it, by the way. I'm just seeing if there's anything interesting on there other than a couple of things. We could look at an Orc faction focus, couldn't we, for 9th edition, I suppose? Because this was supposed to be an Orky painting stream. Ooh, Eldar faction focus. Bum, bum, bum. Come on, where's the Orc faction focus? I know it's on here. There it is. Now, I can't really comment on whether any of the information on this Orc faction focus will be positive or not, because I only played 3 games of 8th edition. Can you believe it? Easiest edition to play, and other than 2nd edition when I was first getting into the hobby, it's probably the fewest games I've played of any edition. I played more games with 7th edition and 6th edition, but we've got an Orc faction focus anyway. So I sort of understand the rules, so it's not like I don't know the rules at all, and I'm playing through the rules in the Conquest tutorial missions, but I'm not an expert gamer. I mainly build, paint the models and put them on YouTube. A big part of the hobby for me that some people don't consider part of the hobby is probably collecting. But yeah, so just the purchasing and owning of something. It does seem weird, that, doesn't it, when you think about it? It seems odd that people see collecting as a hobby. I love this bit of artwork here with the Bad Moon Orc boy. They're mean, they're green, and in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, they'll be making a scene. I'm not going to be able to keep that up because my voice is going already. It was already going before I started doing that voice. So, long time Grand Tournament players and Orc experts, Matt Root is here with his advice on how to get your war on. Let's see, is there anything interesting in these pictures? Anything hidden away? What's this? What's this up here? Let's take that to a new tab. Boom. Let's zoom in over there. Oh no, that's just a shock attack gun mech. That's all that is. I was thinking, what's that? Is that a new custom force field mech? Because there's rules now for big mech with custom force field in the Orc Psychic Awakening book, the Saga of the Wolf or whatever. There's one with a custom force field, but I think that's probably the old miniature. It might. Oh no, it's that's in Mega Armor, isn't it? Yeah, you can tell by the way his legs are stood there. So that's a big mech in Mega Armor with custom force field. There's nothing interesting in those pictures really. It's probably a picture that's already been used in the Orc Codex or something as well. But yeah, let's minimise that anyway, or get rid of it rather. Who are they? The Orcs are the most savage, warlike and numerous species in the galaxy, can be found infesting its every corner. Far removed from the enigmatic and scheming nature of many other races, greenskins are simply beings who live only for battle. They thrive on violence and rarely think beyond the next punch-up, breakneck race or deafening gunfight. Lovely artwork here. We've seen it all before though. This artwork, I believe we have anyway. This looks like very familiar artwork. This knob looks... Is it a knob or a boss? I think that's a boss, isn't it? Looks very menacing. How they play in the new edition. We're going to hand you over to War Boss Matt Root, a man who has won so many tournaments that even Ghazghkull is jealous of his achievements. He has plenty of tips on how to get the most out of an Orc army in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Matt. What accent does Matt have? Say it in the chat quick and I'll try and do it in that accent. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to read it instead. The nature of Orcs has always been aggressive, aiming to overwhelm your opponent with bodies and bullets or both. Ooh, bodies and bullets or both. I like bullets personally. In this regard, the Green Tide has not changed, but the options that have opened up the army are numerous. On one of the most striking changes is to vehicles. Orc units like Megatrak Scrapjets are deadly both in shooting and in combat, but previously you had to choose one or the other because being stuck in combat stopped you from shooting. In the new edition, this is no longer the case. I hadn't even thought about the new buggies when it came to combat rules. I was thinking more about my Death Dreads and shooting with flamers and stuff like that, because the Death Dread I built, the Squig Dread, that you've probably seen on the channel before, that's got 2 flamers on it, so that's going to be quite brutal getting into combat with that. But previously you had to choose one or the other because being stuck in combat stopped you from shooting. In the new edition, this is no longer the case. You can unload rockets with malicious glee as you charge towards your opponent's lines. If you get stuck in combat, you can still keep shooting with your other weapons. And then there's a little asterisk there. Let's scroll down to the bottom, see what that one is. Oh, just saw a glimpse of stratagem. As its blast weapon, the rocket can't be fired at engagement range, but your other weapons can. Ah, so a rocket's a blast weapon now. Interesting. So blast weapons are... It's looking like blast weapons are what used to be mostly blast template weapons in 6th, 7th edition. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what things like rockets do then. I know it's going to be D3 damage. Well, it's going to be a weapon that's D6 damage is going to cause at least 3 damage, and a weapon that's at least 3 damage on a unit of 6 or more models. But then if it's 6 to 10 models, but then if it's 11 plus models, then it'll be 6 damage. This is a massive benefit for Orcs, as they have some of the most melee-oriented vehicles in the game. Killer Cans and Death Dreads are just some of the big winners in this regard and get great options to lead your charge. And are great options to lead your charge, rather. The new terrain rules will also be appreciated by all Orc players. All Orc players will appreciate these rules. Don't speak for us. God, it really irritates me when people do stuff like that. It says all Orc players. I might not like them. Now, I might be wrong in not liking them, but that's my choice to not like them. But anyway, let's read on. With terrain having clearly defined features, you don't have to worry about your opponent seeing through a crack in the wall to shoot your entire boy squad. You can either give your squad a -1 modifier to be shot. This is a big advantage to Orc players and any army that likes to get stuck in, as it means you can seriously limit your opponent's ability to stop your advance with their shooting. Now, with some of the new terrain rules, I'm a bit iffy about whether I like them or not yet. I always found it really interesting and really cool to get down to like the Rise of Pattern Ruins or something and see through 2 windows and just take out one guy. I hope those rules where you can't see through 2 windows in a building, or a building that's got certain dimensions, whatever, I'm hoping that snipers will be able to ignore those rules, so at least snipers can still do that sort of thing, because I always found that really cinematic and cool. But I understand why they're taking it out of the game as a whole, but hopefully there's still certain units for certain factions that can do it, like the Eldar Rangers and Rattling Snipers and stuff like that. Because I think that's that kind of thematic stuff just for those units that probably wouldn't see a lot of play otherwise. I don't know, because I don't play the game an awful lot, but wouldn't see a lot of play otherwise. It sort of makes you want to take that unit because he can do that sort of thing. Let's see what's going on with the chat before I go on to the key units bit. Not too much. You are talking about painting Ghazghkull, and I am about to prime Makari. Excellent stuff. It's going to be good to see what you do with that. Make sure you share it in the Orc 40k group. I've got Makari in my hand now. I'm just wondering whether I should stick some paint on him somewhere. Maybe I'll stick some paint on Makari while I'm not yet, but I'll just at least read through this, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to stick some paint on Makari. But like I said, I'm pretty tired, so I'm not sure I'm going to be in the best mode for painting. If they don't lose their heads. I can't wait to see you shrink yourself. American accent. Right. Oh yeah, can't wait to see you shrink yourself. So last week, Steve-O came onto the stream, and I thought he was about to promote his new video, because he likes to sneak onto streams and promote his video that he's just posted. He did it on Dread Stream once, I think. And I've only ever seen him do it once, but ever since then, whenever I see him pop up in a stream, I comment that he must be about to share his new video, and that's why he's popped onto the stream whenever I see him pop into the chat. Key units. But what are we... Oh yeah, so I won a competition, that's why I was talking. I won Steve-O's 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 subscriber giveaway competition, I think it was. And I won, I think it's a Cromlech vehicle of some sort. I can't even remember what it was. I watched his video drawing it, and I can't remember even what it was. But I know it's an Orky vehicle. I'm really excited to have a look at it and get to build it, because I've not got any Ork vehicles that aren't GW. So I am excited to see what another company's offerings are like in hand. I've always been reluctant to buy non-GW kits in case I ever want to go down to GW and play. Because I've got loads of GWs near me. I've got 3 within probably about a 20-minute drive. So it's like one of the easiest options for me to play if I can get an opponent in whichever store I go to. But I'm excited to get my hands on a third party's vehicles here. But back to the screen. Key units. But what are going to be the best Ork units to take advantage of the changes to New Edition? Let's get back to Matt. Burner Bomber. Burner Bombers were already good. This is awful. But the changes to flyers in the New Edition make them even better. Take 2. While they're great flying around, immolating targets, they're even better if someone is foolish enough to shoot it down. Unlike most other exploding vehicles, burner bombers explode on a 4+ instead of a 6+, and they do 3 more mortal wounds instead of D3. With the Flying Headbutt stratagem from Psychic Awakening Saga of the Beast, you can guarantee that it will crash and burn, so rush them into the middle of your opponent's gun line and do an incredible amount of damage. Then it's got the stratagem for Flying Headbutt, which we've already seen. Use your stratagem at the end of your Ork movement phase. Select an Ork unit from your army that has the Flyer Battlefield roll. That model is reduced to 0 wounds and automatically crashes and burns. Do not roll. Scorcher missiles are also blast weapons in the new edition. Ooh, that's cool. Giving you more hits against hordes. Plus, you can fly your burner bomber off the table without any regret, and your opponent can't shoot what isn't on the board. While your first plane is blowing up, the second can hide off the table, then return safely in your turn to drop a whole new load of bombs on your enemies. Now, I've not seen any of the Warhammer TV live streams regarding where they're talking about flyers in the new edition yet, but I'm hoping if a flyer flies off the table, it has to stay off for another turn. I'm not sure. It might be able to fly off and return on, but there's some kind of penalty for flying off the table. Should be the case in my opinion. But it's not. It's not vital. I'm not like I said, I'm not a competitive player, so it's not necessarily what I say that would be best. Back to Matt. Orcs are a very command point hungry army, which means that you often had to take 2 or 3 battalion detachments to get the points you needed. This made it tricky to fit in some of the more elite and expensive units, Meganobs being a prime example. In the new edition, thanks to the way detachments work, all armies start with the same command points. That means that if you don't want to take a load of Gretchen troops, you don't have to. And then there's 2 asterisks. I'll go back to that in a second. No, I'll go down to that now. So if you don't want to take a load of Gretchen, you don't have to. Of course, if you want to take a swarm of Gretchen, you'll still be able to do that. You want an army filled with nothing but Meganobs and Warbusses? You can have it and still have all the command points you'll need, which you can then spend back on your Meganobs to make them hit even harder in combat. Itamaga! When faced with a tougher enemy, the first and best orc strategy is always to hit them harder. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Meganobs unit from your army is chosen to fight. When a Meganobs unit from your army is chosen to fight with. That's bad English. Until the end of that phase, add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons models in that unit are equipped with. So if you've got all kill saws, you're hitting on 3s instead of 4s. I think you hit on 4s with kill saws, don't you? And claws, and so on and so forth. So that's excellent stuff. The changes in the Overwatch rule will always help the Meganobs. If you charge your opponent's entire army currently, they essentially get a free shooting phase. In the new edition, they will have to choose a unit to shoot with and pay the necessary cost in command points. This means more of your green tide will make it into combat. That's one of the interesting things about the new edition for me, and seeing exactly how people handle this lack of Overwatch in the shooting phase. It's going to be interesting. Oh, I nearly swallowed one of my beard hairs. It's going to be interesting to see how people handle this Overwatch situation, because an Orc player really, I think, would benefit from trying to charge everything all in the same turn, and then there's only one thing can fire Overwatch. And what are they going to fire at? Are they going to fire at Ghazghkull, who might be charging the Warlord? But if they fire at Ghazghkull, it's definitely not going to take him out of action. So they can't really fire at Ghazghkull. They can't choose to fire at Ghazghkull. But if you charge Ghazghkull first, you might tempt them into firing at Ghazghkull. And then you've got your Meganobs charging in next. And it's like, oh, should I fire at the Meganobs? Because I've got a hit on 6s at first. And then you've got to think, well, they've got a 2-up save. So if they've not got any AP, then maybe they don't want to fire at the Meganobs. And then eventually they'll be firing at Gretchen or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people handle the whole stratagem of Overwatch rather than just the action of Overwatch as is in the current edition. I was a bit dubious about. I like Overwatch because boys can hit on 6s when normally they hit on 5s. So it's like they've got almost as good a chance of hitting in Overwatch as they have in the shooting phase. So it's especially when you take things like tank busters, and if not that a vehicle would often charge them, but let's say a dreadnought's charging a bunch of tank busters or something. If your opponent's stupid enough to do that, and then they get rerolls and stuff against vehicles. So excuse me, dirty burp. It was quite minty that actually, so I'm all right there. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to double check Warhammer Community one more time, see if there's any other articles that might be of interest. No, there's not really. Good news for UK ebook fans. Nope, not bothered about that. Oh, actually, I might be bothered about it. I'm just going to click on that. I'm just going to read it myself while I'm on stream. Come on. UK ebook fans. This is good news article for anyone in the UK who likes to read ebooks. I managed to read a couple of chapters of Shadows of Treachery, something of Heresy. I don't know. One of the short story books in the Horus Heresy. After Fear to Tread. I think it's Fear to Tread. Might have been No Fear. I think it's Fear to Tread. Yeah, so I managed to read a bit more about Sevatar and Sevatar? The Night Lords guy, and yeah, so read a bit more about Prince of Crows, which is a short story in that series of books. The good news is that you'll be paying a little less for them. The reason why are to do with UK taxation. We can hear you yawning already, so if you want to grab some ebooks and you're in the UK, sorry about this to everyone elsewhere, feel free to head to Black Library website now and skip the rest of this. If you're curious to learn, read on. I'm a bit curious to learn. Here in the UK, there's a thing called VAT, value-added tax. In America, they have something called sales tax. It's similar to that, apart from the fact that when we have a price on something in a shop, on the shelf in the UK, that's the price you pay. You don't get to the till, and then they add the tax on at the till. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just put it on the price on the shelf? That makes so much more sense, because then you don't have to work out the tax or worry about the tax when you get to the till. It's ridiculous that they show you the price pre-tax, and then the sales tax is when you pay tax. Mad. Anyway. And it's basically the tariff you pay on almost everything you buy. It includes the price of every item, so you don't usually even see it. It's included on the price of every item, which is what I just said, so you don't even usually see it. Some goods are considered essential and are exempt from VAT. Among these are books. Physical books, your basic paperback and hardback books, have long been VAT exempt, but ebooks haven't until now. So ebooks are now tax exempt, so we should be paying, in theory, 20% less for them in the UK. I'm going to head over to the Black Library now and just double check that. That's a very interesting little thing to learn. The chat is dying off already. I think because I'm not painting on this stream that I said I was going to be painting on. But not to worry. Dredd used to do this kind of thing all the time, but then he'd just go on a mad DJ bender. Because he was a lunatic. Have you seen him without his hair, by the way? He's cut his dreads off. Unbelievable. He's called Dreadwar Gaming. How can he have no dreads? I've still sat here. I keep turning back. And I keep typing. That sounds like a good way to do it. I've gotten used to working out tax in my head and making sure I have enough to pay for the things, including tax. Yeah, when you're used to it, it's fine. But if you go on holiday to the States or something and like you're just doing a shop so you can eat back at your villa or wherever you're staying, then when you get to the till, it's like, I was already aware they added the tax on at the till. And it's not like I didn't have any money because I had all my holiday money with me. But it's just like, why don't you just put it on the shelf? The price that you're going to pay. It makes sense to me because that's what I'm used to. There are certain things over here. Like when you get a job priced up, if someone's working on your house or your car or something like that, they won't always say how much it's going to be with the tax on for some reason. And when you're buying like parts for cars and stuff like that, you'll get a quote and it'll be without tax. It's like, why don't you just tell me the price with the tax? It doesn't make sense. The bard's clipping a tank out. That's why the chat has gone quiet. Right, what was I going to do? Go to Black Library and just see how much the ebooks are. B-L... Oh no, it's not an L. Oh no, I've knocked Gaz over. L-A-C-K... Library. Library. Black Library. .com. I assume. I don't know. It's not coming up with anything. Hey, I got it. Yeah, so blacklibrary.com. Let's go to Warhammer Adventures because I know the price of the physical books there. The physical books are like £6. And the ebooks? No, that's an audio book, not an ebook. There's an ebook. $5.49. $5.49. Where is the physical book? I want to compare one to a physical book. You know what? They've not got any physical books on. Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000. Let's click view all on Warhammer 40,000. They've not got any physical books available to buy on Black Library. For the Warhammer Adventures, I think they're $6.99. They might be $5.49. Anyway, the ebooks are $5.49 there. So, yeah, you're getting a bit of a saving. Let's have a look at a Horus Heresy novel. Expensive. Best way to do audiobook sub and get 1 or 2 books a month for free. I struggle to listen to audiobooks because I always find my mind wandering. Unless it's really capturing my imagination, I'm better just reading the book. Although it takes me ages because I'm a really slow reader. I didn't read my first book until I was out of choice, until I was like 16, 17, and it must have been 17. Just turned 17 and I'm reading my first book out of choice. I remember I was in college and Lord of the Rings, the first movie, got released, and then I wanted to know what happened next. So I read the first book, read the second book, and I read the third book. I was a really bad reader when I was younger. I just didn't have the patience for it. So we've got Magnus the Red Master of Prospero for $7.99 in ebook form. I'm going to click on that, see if it gives us an option to buy in ebook $7.99, MP3 $19.99. It doesn't have a physical copy of the book. Why don't they have physical copies of the book on blacklibrary.com anymore? I'm going to see if there's an option to select physical books anywhere. Show me a physical book symbol. There's none. Maybe they're not shipping at the minute. Maybe that's what it is. So you can. That's probably what it is. It's probably because of the shutdown. A Border Prince Warhammer lore was talking about it. Talking about the taxation or something like that. Maybe. Yeah. So I imagine Black Library don't have physical books to ship at the minute because of the Black Library shutdown. I know the Warhammer Adventure books are sold on Games Workshop's website as well, I think. Let me go to Games Workshop's website here. Let's see if Games Workshop. I pretty much only read D&D books for fun. Oh, I pretty much only read D&D books for fun growing up. The word read and read always gave me trouble because of the same word, like many other words in the English language. Marcos, quick question for you. How do you spell aluminium? Do you spell it without the extra I, or do you spell it with the I? Because I was telling my dad the other night that when I was in America a few years ago, I saw the word aluminium on a sign, and it didn't say aluminium, it said aluminum. It didn't say aluminium. So that's why Americans pronounce it aluminum, and British people pronounce it aluminium. Have you ever heard the Biffy Clyro song? I don't know what it's called, but it's they say in that song, I pronounce it aluminium because there's an I next to the U and M. Without. Yeah, so in America, the reason, there's so many people that are frustrated when they hear an American pronounce the word aluminium as aluminum, because it's like, it's obvious you pronounce it aluminium because there's an I next to the U and M. But obviously there's not for them. So there we go. Right, what did I want to do? Warhammer Adventures. Black Library. No, I don't want to click on Black Library because that'll take me to the Black Library website, won't it? Yes, it will. Oh no, this is Black Library / Games Workshop. Right, that's interesting. So can you just buy physical books here? New releases? New releases. Where's the Warhammer Adventures? $6.99 for the Warhammer Adventures book. So you're saving £1.50 getting the ebook now of the Warhammer Adventures book rather than the paperback. That's excellent stuff. So the ebooks are now cheaper than physical books. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, so aluminum is the way Marcus is spelling it. Fighting Fantasy books had full set at one point. Long. Excellent. I love water. I love Manchester tap water as well. I love it. It's best tap water in the UK. Apparently everyone likes the tap water that they grew up with, and that's why we all say, oh, the best tap water is from here. The best tap water is from here. Like, people in London come to a soft water area, or is it people from the north go to a hard water area? I don't know. Either or. Someone goes somewhere and something happens. I'm not describing this very well. Right. I think it is. In a hard water area, you go to lather your shampoo. Like, I use it on this head. I do actually use shampoo on my head still, because I get flaky skin, so I use anti-dandruff shampoo. Scottish water's best. Don't be daft. Scottish water's just iron brew, isn't it? So people in hard water areas can't lather their hair as well, I think, because the lime in the water, or the lime? Is it lime? I don't know. Because you get lime scale in your kettle, that's what I'm thinking. So people in hard water areas, the shampoo doesn't lather up as well as in soft water areas, I think. I might have lied there. I think that was something Jack D did on a stand-up years ago. So I'm probably lying there. Right, so Heralds of the Siege paperback is $7.99. Let's compare that to a Black Library Heralds of the Siege I want. Heralds of the Siege, $7.99 in ebook. So they're the same price. That's no good, is it? Oh, by the way, I've got a vest on. I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, I did mention my hairy body earlier, didn't I? Because it was just too hot. Lol, so good we pipe it down south. Yeah. I love Iron Brew. I say I love Iron Brew. It's alright, Iron Brew. I like it. A lot of people, or some people, don't like it. They can't stomach it, but it goes extremely well with vodka. It's like Scottish people and Russian people or anywhere else that produces vodka. They just like got on so well that you mix them together and it's lovely. Although I've not had vodka and Iron Brew for years. It's always diet Iron Brew when I have it though. Because my mate prefers the diet Iron Brew and I only ever have it at her house. Vodka and Iron Brew, dark rum and coke, or what do I like dark rum and diet coke. I think most of the fizzy drinks I drink are all diet drinks, not the zero drinks though, because not a fan so much of the zero drinks unless you can't get a diet one and you have to get the zero one. But Coke Zero, for example, not a fan of it. I like Pepsi Max though. I've always liked Pepsi Max since I was a kid. It makes you do really big burps, and I think that's part of the fun of it for me. Oh, I'm almost out of the greatest tap water in the land, and I've got it in a Pepsi Max bottle, by the way. That's old, that bottle. It's probably... What am I doing here? I've got a chat window open accidentally. Right. Well, this has been the most useless stream ever. I've never had Scottish vodka. I recently had Pousser's rum. I've got to be careful how I say that. Pousser's rum. What's Pousser's rum? I'm going to Google that now. Oh, we're getting on to alcohol now. We shouldn't be talking about alcohol on my YouTube channel. I had a Brewdog beer the other night, which was a Vietnamese coffee stout, and it was nice, but it was lethal as well. What was I going to Google? Pusser, Pusser. Oh, I've got to be there for some reason. Nearly knocking my model over. Well, I did knock my model over. Nearly smashing it to smithereens, knocking it off its base. Pousser's rum. There we go. Down there. Oh, I'm so bad with the computer. Well, it's probably because my desk is really messy. What kind of rum's this? Oh, yes. Oh, gunpowder. Blue label. There's different types. This is promising. I like gunpowder proof, black label, dark rum. So gunpowder proof means they used to, I think to test it, pirates, or not necessarily pirates, but sailors, used to soak the gunpowder in it, and then they'd see if it's still lit, and if it lit, then that'd test the proof of it, and that's why it's called proof, because it was proof that there was plenty of alcohol in the liquid. I believe, but don't quote me on that. I bet the Bard will know. Brewdog is local-ish, lol. Yes, it is. I knew it was up in Scotland. They did one in a taxidermy squirrel once, didn't they? It was like a really high percentage beer. I don't know if it was a lager, but I know they did one. They only made 500 of them or 1,000. I remember seeing it in Front magazine years ago. And I was like, I want one, but I never got it. Pousser's gunpowder rum is traditional, so Royal Navy style rum produced at original Admiralty strength and in accordance with the Admiralty's blending recipe, last used when the Royal Navy discontinued its daily ration on the 31st of July 1970. I didn't know the daily ration of rum had ended in 1970 for the Royal Navy. 50 years ago. Next month. 50 years ago, next month. What do they drink now? Prior to the invention of the hydrometer, the ship's pursers. Is it pursers? No, it's pursers. Right, the ship's pursers shut down claims of watering down sailors' daily tot by mixing a few grains of gunpowder into the rum to see if it would burn. If the mixture ignited, the rum was at proof. So that I didn't need to try and pull that from my memory. The information's all here on the website. drinkaware.co.uk for more information about, I think that's the website, about sensible drinking. Right, well, we'll come away from rum now. Excellent stuff. Must drink lager from a squirrel. Must drink lager from squirrel's bum. Nice. I think it came out of the mouth. The neck of the bottle came out of the mouth, if I remember rightly. Tell you what, I'm going to Google it and then I'll screen share it to you. Brewdog. Taxidermy. Beer. Yes, very, very strange. Let's screen share this. This stream's gone totally off the rails. It was supposed to be a painting stream, but this is what we get up to in Britain when we're bored. We make things like this. A taxidermy squirrel with a beer bottle in it. Scottish brewery Brewdog have packaged their latest range of beers inside dead animals. That was in July 2010, so it's 10 years ago. Next month, 10 years ago next month, like 50 years ago next month, the sailor's ration of rum, the Royal Navy ration of rum ended. Yeah, how expensive was it though? It was 55% ABV and the range is sold out. The range is now sold out. It doesn't say. The world's strongest and most expensive beer goes on sale in the UK. How much was it? Oh, it was £500 a bottle. I remember seeing it at the time and I was blown away. I was like, what is that about? That's mental. Why would you want to drink out of a squirrel? That was one of the things though. It's more like a publicity stunt, I guess. Base focus. Yeah, so more like a publicity stunt, I guess. And it got them a lot of attention when they were still quite a young company. Well, I assume they were still quite a young company then. I don't know when they started, but I'm sure I could find out on the website. But I'm not going to look at any more alcohol now on this stream. Is there anything else I want to look at? I wanted to look at something, didn't I? Wanted to look at the Games Workshop website. Let's screen share again. I'm glad I've set that one up now, rather than trying to do it when I really, really want to screen share something with you. This stream isn't going to go on too much longer because I've got another early start tomorrow. But that's just your fair warning. What did I want to look at? I wanted to... No, I've been looking at Biologist Putrefier recently. Don't need to look at it right now. New releases. Yes, please. Oh, I could have gone battle boxes. That would have been quicker. Battle boxes. I just wanted to have a quick look at Ghazghkull and Makari. I want to look at Makari. That's what we're to look at. Boom. 360. See if we can't big that up a bit. Oh no, press the wrong button there. Oh yeah, I just want to see what colours he had on his banner, because I was going to try and potentially do a bit of a paint job on him, but I'm not going to now. I'm just going to show you. That's where I'm up to in Makari, the same place I showed you last time. I mean, that's a tiny little screen in the corner of your screen. Kiblams! Welcome to this live stream. Long time no see. The stream's going to come to an end soon, unfortunately. It was supposed to be a painting stream where I was painting Ghazghkull, but I've not got any paint on him tonight because I've just had a mad day and I'm just too tired to do anything painting wise. I've been out on the road a lot more recently, so everyone else that's kindly watching now, 6 viewers still, everyone else that's kindly watching now has heard this story already, but I've been out on the road a lot more recently. Today has just been a hectic day, so I've not been actually doing any painting because I've not got the energy for it. Not that it takes much energy, but I think I've just not got the concentration in me. Wayne Catlin in the chat as well. Welcome. Oh, next week, I think it's next week or the week after. I've got an even more hectic week because I've got to have a quiz prepared for my mates as well. So yeah, hopefully on a stream in the not too distant future, I'll get a bit of Makari painted for you. So you don't have to look at this one on the website again. You can just look at mine spinning on the desktop. And you can be like in awe of what an amazing job I've done. Let's change that now. Let's see. Who else can we put on here? Oh yeah, I've got a conversion idea for Ragnar. This is the least orky stream you've ever seen. Well, apart from the fact that I covered some of the orc stuff. So here's Ragnar. Here's my mate Ragnar. Now Ragnar, I want to turn into an Imperial Fist. And I was looking for a right-handed power fist. Now I've found a right-handed power fist as it happens. The right-handed power fist I've found is in the Vanguard Veterans set, I think. Now, how do you think that would look with a power fist on his right hand, like he's jumping over that bit of rubble on the bottom and he's about to boom, like Superman punch, like Roman Reigns? You know what? I could give him a head that looks like Roman Reigns. Are there any Space Wolf head that look like Roman Reigns? There's not, are there? But the reason I'm converting it into an Imperial Fist and I want him to have a power fist instead of a sword, I was thinking at first do sort of Emperor's Champion, so just swap the sword out for a nice Imperial Fisty looking sword. I could swap the sword out for the Gravis Captain sword or something like that, because that's a very big sword. I'm sure that's a very big sword anyway. Where's my Gravis Captain? Oh, he's over there, he's fallen over. It's not that big actually, it's not as big as I thought, but it's a decent sized sword anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking conversion wise, I need to find a way to hide that belt, get rid of the belt, just replace the belt or file the wolves and the diamond off the belt or the gem. The chains around the neck are a separate piece, I think. The backpack I can just swap out for a more standard backpack from easy to build or something. I could. The wolf pelt I think is a separate piece. I can't remember what separate pieces are what. I'll tell you what, I'll see if we've got a picture of the sprue on here as well. No, we have, yes we have. The sprue is here. So here's the sprue. The conversion I'm wanting to do. So I'm pointing at the screen here. What I should do is use my cursor on this screen. So I've got here. Should we see if we can get that into? No, we can't. I was hoping we could drag and drop. Oh, well, I've bigged it up a bit. So the torso here. Oh, that's right in the way of my thingy there. You can still see it anyway. Just behind my face is the shoulder pad, so you don't need to see that. So the torso here, that's not too bad. I can just file off that wolf skull and crossbones. The arm's fine in that position. The legs are fine in that position. A few little wolfy bits there, don't need them. I can file off the shins of these van braces. Are they van braces on your legs? I think you have van braces on your legs and you have pauldrons on your arms. No, that's a van brace. I'm not doing that to you, by the way. But hey, that's a van brace, isn't it? On your wrist. You have van brace there. What do you have on your legs? Come on, armour experts. Join me in the chat and inform me. We've got Disson Snogut. Whoa! Welcome. It's been the least orc stream ever, my friend. So you'll be glad to know it's coming to an end soon. Just looking at the Ragnar miniature and talking about a potential conversion I want to do to turn him into an Imperial Fist. So, so the shin guards, let's say. The shin guards, I can file them off easy enough and I can fill in these runic bits here. The belt, I wonder if I can just clip that belt off and then flatten it out with green stuff, or maybe just file that off. I'm not too sure. The chains and the wolf pelt here I can leave off. The wolf pelt cloak I can leave off. I can even replace it with something else. I can put a different holster on his hip. Shoe-wise, I'm quite happy, shoe-wise, boot-wise or feet-wise, I'm quite happy to leave the ones with the claws on, because I think you could get that on any marine, really. The pelt I can leave off, the head I can leave off, obviously. And try and find him a more Roman Reigns-y looking helm and have a sort of Imperial Fist that looks like Roman Reigns. It's an easy enough conversion as long as I plan it out well. And it's just a lot of filing and scraping to get some of the more wolfy bits of the armour off of the armour. And then put an ornate shoulder pad on his left shoulder, and same on the right shoulder, that kind of thing, to make him look like a captain, probably, of the Imperial Fist. Greaves! Thank you very much. You're saving my life there, Marcos. Greaves. Good Greaves. Good grief. Yeah, so they're Greaves. Thank you. I couldn't for the life of me remember what they were. Yeah, so we can make this Ragnar boy, make him look quite Imperial Fisty, I reckon, reasonably easily, because he looks like a dirty dog man there, doesn't he? And we don't want him looking like a dirty dog man, do we? A lot of D's going on here. Yeah, so I can file that off easy enough, file that off, filling that with green stuff or something. I can either file that off or just move it away, like clip it off. And I don't need to put the cape on. I could... No, I'm not going to try and make a green stuff cape, but it adds a lot of motion to the miniature, doesn't it? So maybe it does need something. Oh, excuse me, you can tell I'm tired. Maybe it does need something behind him, flowing out behind him. Purity seals, maybe? Like 3 or 4 purity seals coming off his backpack. No, it'll just look like ribbons, like a harlequin. Like a crazy man. What's in this little purse he's got here? What's in his purse? What does the Blackmane carry in his purse? Have you ever seen Tommy Sewell's Ragnar Blackmane with blonde hair? There's a question for you. Now I know what you're thinking. But Ragnar Blackmane has black hair. That's why he's called Ragnar Blackmane. Apparently not. Apparently it's called Ragnar Blackmane because of the black mane of the wolf he killed on something. I don't know. I don't know much Space Wolf lore. Where are we going? Instagram. Instagram.com. Let's go on to Tommy Sewell. Log in. Hope that's right. Nope, that's not right. Right, well, I don't know my login. I'll tell you what I'll do. Oh, I could log in with Facebook. Is it Golden Painting Studio? Golden Painting Studio. Instagram. Let's have a look, see if we can find him. Is he just called Miniature Painter now? That's not him. That's not him, you liar. Well, there's Tommy. What's his Instagram called? I'll tell you what, I'll look on my phone and then I'll find it. Right, what am I doing? What am I doing? Instagram. No, I'm on the wrong account. Tommy. Nope, well, he's not called that. This is the worst stream ever. Similar haircuts, though, exactly, yeah. They do have similar haircuts. What's he called on Instagram? I don't know what he's called on Instagram anymore. He's recently changed his name and I've completely forgotten. Is it the Miniature Tutor or something? The Miniature Painting Tutor is called now. No, that's a hashtag I've just clicked on. Why did I do that? I'm having a bad night. Oh, here we go. No, that is a hashtag though. Let's just search the Miniature Painting Tutor. No, let's come back. This stream's going to end soon. I don't know if you can tell because I am cream crackered. And now people who don't know Cockney rhyming slang are thinking, what does cream crackered mean? Tired is what it means. Rhymes with knackered. Knackered is a British slang phrase for tired. Or kaput, broken. How do I find things on Instagram? I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to end this stream, guys. Like I said, come back to my face. Come back to my face. So, I got a grand total of 0 miniatures painted, or 0 parts of miniatures painted. Has he not got an Instagram link on his YouTube channel? Probably, but it's too late for that now. I'm giving up on life. Well, I'm giving up on staying awake. Yeah, so thanks very much for joining me on this rambly whirlwind tour of my web browser and life. There's been, like I said, no painting done on this, but here's Ghazghkull, where he's up to. I did a bit on him last night, thinking I'd get to do a bit more. Still need to do his teeth. Not sold on the skeleton horde for the teeth because I want to try and achieve a look. Tell you what, that's what I was going to do. I will do a quick screen share again. I want to try and achieve a look similar to the look they've achieved on this. So it's not just like skeleton horde. If you look closely at his teeth, it's more like white with a bit of grey near the end of the teeth. It's probably like a slightly browny grey. So it's something not quite skeleton horde. It's maybe like, I don't know, it could even be a bit of apothecary white. But yeah, so hopefully I'll have some progress on the next stream I do for you. Like I said though, it might not always be an Orky video now on the channel because I'm finding it difficult to get 3 videos out a week. So there's 2 weeks in a row I've done a live stream rather than a video. So I'm thinking of just making this my regular weekly live stream on a Tuesday night, 7 till 8, and then maybe going on after 8 if I'm not up too early the next morning and stuff. But we'll see how we get on. I don't know what to tell you to expect next week. Maybe I'll have a new thumbnail and it'll just say weekly live stream, something along those lines. But I bet there's going to be nights when I don't want to do it, and that's when it becomes a bit frustrating because it becomes easier some nights to have a prepared video. Maybe I should do it fortnightly or something like that instead. We'll see. Anyway, the channel's going to be developing going forward, and it's always going to have to develop around my life. In lockdown it was easy to do 3 videos a week. It's proving difficult to do even 2 videos a week at the minute now I'm back in work. So thanks very much for the look in sleeping, and thanks for doing the stream. No problem. It's whenever I put something on my channel saying I'm going to do something, I like to make sure I at least try my very best to do it. I didn't do any painting. I'm hoping if you were painting anything along, I'm hoping you got some painting done while I just rambled away. I know when I was on Frost and Fist live stream, the first UK live stream they did, Freak had to run away because there was a storm. I keep pressing the wrong things. Freak had to run away when I was on a Frost and... What have I just kicked under there? I've not got any animals. I think I just kicked a rat. Freak had to run away when there was a storm coming in, closing in. And it was me and Mythos just left on the stream. And I just kept talking. And Mythos got a miniature painted when we were talking. And he was saying like he's not the quickest painter. So I hope when I do streams like this, it helps some people to get some miniatures painted, even if I'm not painting miniatures on stream. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. I've forgotten how to end my stream. So I'm just going to sit here and cry until I fall asleep. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.